Hello, chickadee ornithologists. Yesterday, I had you listen to a book called A Place for Birds. If you did not get a chance to listen to it, I put it in our schedule for today also. So here I am on Tuesday, and here I am down on Bird Project. It says here, book A Place for Birds. And it wasn't the happiest book because it talked about problems that are facing birds. So, some of the things that humans and animals sometimes have done that are dangers for birds or might be making it hard for them to survive and thrive in the world. So, a phrase that came to mind was something called human impact. So, humans are us. Impact is the effect you have on something. So, a lot of the things we heard about in that book were negative human impact. So, things that humans have done that caused not so great circumstances or situations for birds. The good news is that humans can also have a really, really positive impact. So, a lot of the problems that we read about, there are things that we can do, not just things that farmers can do or builders of buildings can do, but things that we can do to help the birds. So, I created this page for us to work on together. And I can't wait to hear some of your ideas for things that we will share. So whoops, okay, there I am again. I put up some headers on here. It says problems facing birds. I should say problems. Okay, so I will change that to an S. I'll actually do it on this one because on this one I can type. And the nice thing is that everybody makes mistakes, and I made an edit. Problems facing birds, that means that all the problems are kind of listed right here. There are other problems too that we'll learn about, and we'll add them to this chart. Here it says picture or example, and here it says ideas about how we can help. So when listening to that book, I wrote some of these down. One of them said, when people walk where they lay their I should say not lay their eggs, but I meant to say lay their eggs, but I said lay their nests, so I'm going to change lay to make. When people walk where they make their nests, just like the snowy plover, there's a little bird that lives at the beaches by the sand dunes, and the sand dunes are beautiful. So, of course, people want to walk on them, right? And I would love to walk on dunes too, but when lots of people did, they stepped on the nests. So, ideas about how we could help that. Okay. Thinking about what can we do to help those snowy plovers, and I'm not going to give you my ideas yet. We'll do that in our meetings and we'll add to this page. For today, I want you to see if you could think of two things that you could do to add to the ideas about how we can help page. And you're going to write them down. And when we get together in our meeting, we're going to share them. And we're going to see what we can come up with. Here was another thing. When people cut down dead trees that had good cavities, right? That wasn't really great for cavity nesting birds. Of course, people don't want dead trees on their property. And if it's close to a house, they probably should take it down because it could be dangerous. But it affects the birds because then they lose their cavity nests. Okay, so we're thinking about what could we do about that? When people build on too many big open grassy areas. So that has happened to birds, lots of buildings that go up where there's lots of grass. Here's a big one. We love our cats, and some of us let our cats outside, and that's okay, but cats are very good hunters. It says some house cats hunt for birds. House cats actually get a lot of birds. I watched a house cat in my backyard catch a bird right out of the air. They're very good hunters. But I want to think about what are some things that we might be able to do to help that problem. Could we maybe protect some of these birds from some of these cats? Okay, chemicals used by farms. We heard in the book about a chemical that was being used that then was getting into the food source, that then was getting into the eggs. So what could we maybe do or teach people about so that there wouldn't maybe be as many chemicals used on farms? There's another one. When people in cities leave lots of lights on at night. We learned about migration last week, and it would be super confusing. So we learned that the birds don't have a GPS and that a lot of times they just look at the stars. They know the stars to know where they're going. And then all of a sudden they see all these bright lights on in a city and they're very, very thrown off. They go, wait, are those stars? Are those new stars? Those were never here before. And so it could be pretty confusing. So I wonder if there's something we could do about that. And then here's the last one. Sometimes bird can't see windows and they fly into them. And that has happened to me while I was home. It might have happened to you. So we're going to see, is there anything we could do? There's another problem down here that I didn't write. It has to do with feeding bread to ducks. And we'll start learning about that problem also because I think there's something we could do about that one. So just there are no bad ideas or wrong ideas. There's no way to do today's task wrong or right. I just maybe want you to listen to the book or part of the book again and think of any creative solution that you might have. What can you do to help out with one or two of these problems? All right, and then you're going to keep track of your ideas in a notebook, or you could print out this page and write it on there if you have a printer. And then together, we're going to start putting our ideas together and see if there are some things that we can do to help protect the birds of the world.